Hey, fourth graders. So today our learning target is I can add decimal fractions in tenths and hundredths with unlike denominators. So right in front of us we have two decimal fractions. Decimal fractions are fractions that end in tenths or hundredths for our purposes. And what we're going to do is we're going to try to add these fractions. Now, what we have to do to add tenths and hundredths is to get the denominators to be the same. We're going to need to find an equivalent fraction to 1/10 that has a denominator of 100 or a bottom number of 100. So you can start out by writing 1/10 is equivalent to or equal to something over 100. How do we figure out what that is? Well, you ask yourself, how did 10 become 100? How do we make 10 into 100? Do we multiply or divide? And we multiply. And what do we multiply by? We multiply by the number of 10. So 10 times 10 is 100, and what we do to the denominator, we do to the numerator. So now we're going to multiply the numerator 1 times 10 to give us an equivalent fraction of 10 hundredths. So what we're saying is 1/10 is equivalent to 10 hundredths. 1 dime is equivalent to 10 pennies. And now we can add it to 20 hundredths since they both have the same denominator. You can only add fractions if the denominators are the same, because the denominator represents the size of the piece. This is a hundredth piece, and the numerators represent how many you have. So what we do here now is we add the numerators. 10 plus 20 is 30, and we keep the denominators the same because the size of the piece stays the same. Okay, so the answer here is 30 hundredths. This is what you're going to be doing today. Let's try one more example. 4/10 plus 30 hundredths, or you could think of it like 4 dimes plus 30 pennies. So you have to convert the dimes to pennies. So what you're going to do is you're going to find an equivalent fraction to 4/10 that has a bottom number of 100. So you put an equal sign here, and then you ask yourself, how did 10 become 100? How did 10 become 100? Did I multiply or divide? And of course, we multiplied by the number 10. 10 times 10 is 100. And so whatever I do to the bottom, I do to the top. What I do to the denominator, I do to the numerator. So now we multiply 4 times 10, which gives us a new numerator of 40. What we're saying is 4/10 or 4 dimes is equivalent to or equal to 40 hundredths or 40 pennies. Now that we have an equivalent fraction for 4/10, we're going to go ahead and add it to 30 hundredths. So we can again think of 30 hundredths as 30 pennies because 100 pennies are in a dollar. And a dollar is the one whole. All right, so 40 plus 30, we add the numerators. 4 plus 3 is 7, and we have to keep that 0, is 70. The bottom number stays the same, the denominator stays the same, and the answer here is 70 hundredths. So you've just learned how to add fractions in tenths or hundredths with unlike denominators. Good luck in your assignment.